Saul started to chase David from place to place. At one point, he came to a large rock formation. David was on one side and King Saul started coming up the other side. If he had gone just a little bit farther, he'd have been able to see David and his men and get him. But just at that moment, a message came saying to Saul, "Hurry, come back. The Philistines have invaded the land." So Saul had to stop and turn around and go back to save the nation. From that day on, that large rock was called the Rock of Escape. After Saul was gone, David took his men to a canyon called En-Gedi. After Saul was done fighting the Philistines, he heard that David was at En-Gedi, so he selected 3,000 men, some of his best men, to chase after David. As they were going towards En-Gedi, Saul went into a cave to relieve himself, not knowing that David and his men were in the back of the cave. David's men were thrilled that God had given the king to David. They said, "Kill him." Instead, David crept closer to the king and reached out and grabbed his robe and cut off the corner. Immediately he felt guilty for doing it. He crept back to his men and said, "Listen carefully. Not even my little finger will harm the king. He is God's anointed, our king." David kept the men back so that Saul could leave the cave peacefully. Once he was gone and walking away, David came out of the cave and yelled, "My lord, the king!" Saul looked back. David was standing there saying, "Who have you been listening to? Who has been telling you that I'm trying to hurt you? Look at the corner of your robe. It's not there because I'm holding it in my hand. The Lord gave me your life when you came into the cave. My men told me to kill you, but I didn't. I didn't because you're my king. You're the Lord's anointed. I would never hurt you. Listen to what I'm saying. I have never sinned against you. And yet you're trying to kill me. I've asked the Lord to judge between us, and I know He will make it right. But I will never hurt you." When Saul heard this, he broke down and cried. He said, "Oh, David, my son, you're more righteous than I. God gave you my life, and yet you didn't kill me. Who has heard of such a thing?" Now it's clear. Now I know that you will become the king of Israel. My son David, swear to me that when you're king, you will not kill my descendants. Swear to me that you'll not Eliminate my father's name from his clan. Swear to me. So, David made an oath with the king. After that, Saul took his men and went home. And David went back into hiding. It was about that time that the prophet Samuel died. And all the nation mourned his death.